Welcome back to Western Wild. In today's video, we're going to do a detailed walk around of our brand new hard-walled pop-up truck camper from Oru Designs USA. So if you've been watching our channel for a while, you know that we used to drive with a CVT Mount Rainier rooftop tent. We enjoyed that setup for a long time. It was comfortable, but it took a long time to set up. Teardown in particular was a pain, and we had a lot of sleepless nights because of wind. After looking at what the market had to offer for kind of a next step for what we wanted to do, we eventually settled on a truck top camper, sometimes referred to as a wedge camper, depending on the design or the company that makes it. Now, there are really three reasons why we went this route. The first one really being that it is lightweight compared to a slide-in style camper. This is only about 350 pounds. Some models on the market drop down to more like 250, 300. When you're driving in either a mid-size truck or a half-ton truck like we have, payload kind of runs at a premium. So you want to keep that weight down, and this satisfies that very well. Number two is that the price point on these really falls in between a nice rooftop tent setup and the slide-in camper setup that I just mentioned. These are not all that different from if you were to pay the money for a canopy camper for your truck and then put a rooftop tent on the top. So the price point was really attractive for us because it was the natural step up from a rooftop tent. And then finally, huge advantage of these things is that they let you use your truck as a truck. Unlike a slide-in camper that has a floor to it, where once you put it in, that's kind of what you're doing. You're using your truck as a camper. This effectively just takes up the top portion above the bed, and you basically get a canopy setup with your bed, free to use. You can modify it if you'd like. You can build out a camper in it if you want to, or you can use it to haul whatever you need, like dump runs, house chores. If you're using it for work, this is an awesome setup. You can use the truck bed as a truck bed, and then you have your camper section up top. So after looking at the entire market for truck top campers and wedge campers, we eventually settled on the Oru Designs Bruin model. This is a relatively new product in the marketplace. I believe it's only been out for a couple of years, but we believe in many ways it offers an excellent value proposition, both in terms of price point, but especially when it comes to some very unique features of this camper that we'll get to in a moment. Before diving into the walk around, I'd like to point out that we're not affiliated with Oru and paid full price for this camper with our own money. As you can always expect from our channel, we will do our best to cover both the pros and the cons of this product in great detail. If you do ultimately end up buying one of these campers, please let the Oru team know that you watched this video. Now for some basic product details. The top portion of these campers is standardized around a queen-size bed, but the lower camper portion can be customized to fit virtually any truck. Lead times will vary, but ours ended up being right around 12 weeks. Oru offers 3 standard trim levels, starting at 8,500. Our model is the middle-tier adventurer grade. Now the first thing that we love about the Oru is just how quickly it sets up. You basically have to go around the camper and unlatch each of these. And as quickly as you can unlatch those, you can get the camper up. Just pushing like this. And then you let the gas struts go to work, and the camper rises up, and it reveals what is truly the most compelling feature of this product. The Oru camper is a hybrid tent style truck top camper. And that means that it has hard walls all the way around, with a few pieces of fabric to allow for ventilation and ease of setup and takedown. This has massive benefits when it comes to wind resistance in particular. We've already had like 20-mile-per-hour winds with this thing. You don't really hear it at all. Huge difference from the rooftop tent that we were in previously. And then in addition to that, these are aluminum composite panels that come with some degree of insulation with them. So once we get into winter camping, which we do quite often, this is going to be hugely beneficial for our needs. Now, another feature that we enjoy about the Oru is the pass-through space. There are other models on the market that offer something similar. Not all of them do though. It is really, really nice when you're running one of these truck top campers to have room where the bed can be fully deployed, but you can climb in and out between the lower camper space and the tented space.
One of the big things that we love about the interior of this tent is how easy it is to get ready for bed in the evening. It is a true queen size mattress. When you pop the tent up, you can have your sleeping bag and your pillows, as long as they're down the middle, already packed up and ready, so you're not stuffing and unstuffing sleeping bags, getting pillows out of the car. They're just here and ready. It is also a true queen size mattress, and it is one of the few mattresses on the market that is legitimately memory foam, so it is a very comfortable sleeping surface. The other nice thing about how this tent functions is that the back part of the mattress and sleeping platform slides back instead of folding up. So in a lot of wedge campers, you see this portion popping up, so you still kind of have to bend down to get into the back of your truck bed. This one can be folded back. I have short arms, so I struggle with this part a teeny tiny bit. And then this lifts up, slides in, and now you have access to the entirety of your truck bed, which for us, since we're going to be planning to work remotely out of this, we're going to live with the setup for a little while, and then we're going to build out our entire interior to include benches, fridge storage, little kitchenette type of system. So having full access to our space back here is really, really nice. Two common questions that we've gotten so far are, does the white roofing transmit a lot of heat? And two, does this come with a fan? To cover the first option, we haven't really noticed it transmitting a lot of heat. Our very first time out in this, we were in 95-degree weather. Obviously it was warm in here because it's 95 degrees, but it wasn't sweltering. We didn't feel like we were really just sweating our tails off, in part because we have a nice window system to create a cross breeze. But all in all, it's been a pretty cool and comfortable setup. I think actually because it's a white top, it reflects the heat a little bit better. And then onto the fan. That actually was an option that we could have added on, but due to our budget at the time, we chose to not get the fan. But if you want to, you can add that in to a custom build. We will probably do that later down the line.
Another common question with this style of camper is, what does it do to our gas mileage? Now, with the rooftop tent that we had on this truck previously, we were sitting right around 12 to 13 miles per gallon, usually with a mix of 4x4 driving close to home and some highway driving thrown in there. In the brief period after we sold the rooftop tent, before this went on, we were probably getting closer to 14 or 15 miles per gallon. Once we put the Oru back on our trip to go pick it up, where we had a lot of highway driving, 75, 80 mile per hour sections, gas mileage dropped closer to 12.8 miles per gallon. That's what we were getting. Since then, having reset it for general use here in Central Oregon, again, mix of highway driving, off-roading, but keeping speeds more like 60, 65 miles per hour. That gas mileage has improved tremendously. I think right now we're sitting at closer to 13.5 to 15 miles per gallon, which really isn't that bad. Another question we've received is, how does the Oru do in the rain? We can't answer that just yet in terms of how it functions with the camper setup. We've only used this in late spring, summertime, dry climates, have not been rained on while we've been camping with it. However, we have driven through several severe downpours. This thing lives outside in front of our house, and it gets rained on a fair amount. So far, no water incursion into it whatsoever, not on the roof, which is the important part. And then we specifically had the question as well, with this barn door setup, do we encounter any water incursion issues? And so far it's all been good. So one of the options that we selected from Oru was this barn door rear setup, as opposed to a hatch that I believe is what comes standard on the model. There's a couple nice things about this. The biggest one is that it's really great for letting you use your truck as a truck, and I'll show you here. This just pops out, and then you can take it off, which is great if you want to put bikes in the back or, you know, hang lumber out, whatever. Very, very easy to gain full use of your tailgate all over again once these come out. The other nice aspect about this is that it makes it a lot easier to get in and out of the back. If we had a hatch here, I'd likely have to be ducking all the way through from the tailgate into the back. But with the barn doors, just pop these open, and then you only have to duck right here to get in and out. Once we have an awning with this eventually, this will also be a really nice feature. We know the barn doors will not interfere with the awning that comes out the back of the truck. All right, so a few other features that come standard on their middle tier model, but can be optioned on the lower one if I remember correctly. It's the side hatch, which is really great if you want to either be able to access gear that's right here, or if you just need to open up the space a little bit, you can basically use this as another window. I think in the long run we may put a piece of mesh in here so that we can use it to get more airflow in. And then on the other side of the truck, we have it optioned with a window. This is specifically put over there so that from the driver's seat you can see through the window that is on the back of the camper all the way out into the blind spot.
One of the things that we actually don't love about this camper, and I will preface this with this is a pretty standard feature on any type of truck top camper, is the height between the bed of the truck and the bed. If you are not at least 6 feet, it is a pretty big leap to get up into bed every night and get out of bed in the morning. So for those of you that are vertically challenged, I highly recommend a step stool to put in the bed of your truck that can either collapse or just something small to make the leap up and out of bed a little bit easier each day.
So another issue that is really going to be a problem with all of these truck top style campers that are not sealed off is dust incursion. Something about the way these are designed, when you're driving down a dusty road, if there is a gap in the tailgate, in anywhere in the system, dust just gets sucked in. You can see it here. We have taken this camper out several times before on very dusty roads. Obviously based on the condition, we did not clean this up for show prep. We're showing you like this is how it looks when you use it. Again, this is a problem with a lot of campers of this nature. It's not necessarily due to the build of the Oru product. Their piece is pretty well sealed up. But in general, these truck beds are designed with gaps, mostly for regular use. If you're hauling gravel or wood chips, whatever, stuff gets down in there, and if the seams were too tight, it would cause issues. So to solve that for our use case, to avoid the dust incursion, we're gonna have to go through and add some sealing. It's a pretty common process for people who have truck top campers, but it's just something that we have to do. So the last piece that we're not super thrilled about with the Oru camper is just some of the little fit and finish elements. You can see like the way that this seal is done off here. There's a few other pieces like that. Just in general, there's some spots where from a look standpoint, it's not quite perfect. I think what's going on here is that the Oru team is making every effort that they can to seal things off very, very well from dust and rain. These campers are hand built, and sometimes the fit and finish doesn't come out completely perfect. All right, so we showed you the setup process already. The takedown process is just as easy. Just like that, and now all you have to do is go around, give these 4 latches, and you're ready to go. All right, so despite having a couple things that we may not be thrilled with, big picture, we think this is one of the best campers on the market for the price point that it comes in. In terms of weight, and price as is optioned right now. It competes hands down with the top players in the market. And on top of that, you add in both the hard-walled hybrid top functionality that just kills it in the wind. It's awesome. And the mattress setup that it has. We really think that this is a very intriguing value proposition, and we're quite happy with it.
Yeah, overall, we've had this for about 2 months now, and we've been very comfortable and happy in each trip that we've taken with it. And it just makes us excited to go camping because it's easier to use and makes the experience just that much better. So we're looking forward to quite a few more years in this.
If you have questions about Oru Designs campers, we'd be happy to answer them in the comments. We have more Trek camper adventure and build out videos on the way, so be sure to hit subscribe. Until next time, stay wild.